Are we recording before what? What's going on?
What are you asking me for? It's your show.
I know it's my show, Kirk.
I was asked to come on, so I'm here.
I'm asking if we're recording.
Who are you asking? What are you asking me for?
I don't know, because I heard you talking.
I was asking the same question. What's going on? I'm trying to figure out. I was asked to come on the show.
Eddie? Hold on. Everyone just fucking hold on.
Okay.
We'll explain the situation in a second. What?
Your level of anger toward me is completely ridiculous.
I'm not mad at you at all. I'm not mad at you at all, Kirk.
I'm happy. If you don't want me to come on, I'm happy.
I'm happy to have you on.
Fine. Okay. Whatever. Fine. Whatever. Fine. That's fine.
Dave, can we open?
No. Kareem just went to get 2 cold high noons.
Okay.
And I don't know that we're recording right now.
Well, I mean, we are.
Are we?
This could stay in the show. It should.
Okay, fine. Kareem's back. So everyone just take a deep breath. I lost 20 hands of blackjack on the way over here. Playing 5 to 15 grand a hand. So I'm down 140 in a car ride from fucking Teterboro. Do I not get at a high noon? Is that?
There's 4. Yes, and
11. All right, we're good.
All right, bang, bang. Welcome to the Dave Portnoy Show with Eddie and Company, presented by High Noon.
High Noon, and we got him right here. I got a lemon. What do you got, Alex?
I got a vodka soda kiwi.
Kiwi. And what's the other flavor over there?
Flavor we got cranberry.
Cranberry. All right. Not my favorite. Kirk's there. So let me introduce. We going to get Alex on the thing. So Alex, and I say this with all due respect, made the worst Make-A-Wish wish in the history of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. But his Make-A-Wish was to come spend some time at the Barstool office. He just explained the whole thing. It's pretty fascinating, actually. Heart surgery, in 2 years ago?
In January 4th, 2019.
So today's his day to come in. I heard the whole story. Maybe we'll get some. It's remarkable, like going into the hospital and just the whole thing. Not the greatest chances to live. And look, it's all worth it because he's on now the DP show with Kirk Minihane. So it came out spades for him.
He looks pretty old and pretty healthy where I'm coming from, Dave. So I don't.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I'm not sure why he's there, honestly, but hey, good.
You ever heard of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Kirk?
Yeah, I thought it was like 6-year-olds wanted to meet John Cena.
No. It's anything. You go through trauma. Great. Now, do you know Kirk at all?
No.
Kirk's the bottom bald guy, certified crazy. So disregard everything he says.
Alex, how are you? I'm glad you're doing well, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Eddie. So that's the intro. He's going to be part of the show. Good dude.
Okay, perfect.
He's also a Cowboys fan, which bad mojo for me, but whatever.
Oh, that's tough to.
Yeah, tough.
Without that.
All right, then. So Alex is here. Kirk is here. Kirk is on. Kirk, you solved a murder. We want to bring you on. Thank you for being here. I'm happy you're here.
Yeah, it was easier for me to solve a murder than it was for easier to book fucking Will Compton than behind the scenes. Jesus Christ, you would have thought, it's like building get pyramids was quicker than listening to behind the scenes. God. I mean, Kevin Mailer dancing around right now if Eddie was on the case. I'll say that.
What does Will Compton have to do with anything?
Is that what it was, Eddie, or no?
Well, we're trying to bring Will on later, yes. Oh. Correct.
Yeah, and the negotiations between Eddie and Kareem, I heard it was just, I don't know how you guys even turn the cameras on at this place, listening to the two of you trying to figure this thing out. I'm saying it's a fucking disaster zone. Jesus.
We're trying. I was trying to be complimentary here, Kirk. Honestly, that's as impressive a thing that we've had happen at Barstool. So Kirk put out basically a podcast that was an unsolved mystery, and it turns out his work into this unsolved mystery directly led to a charge. Is it an arrest and a charge of? Yeah.
So Kevin Mailer, the guy who's already in prison in South Carolina for an unrelated crime, was charged earlier. I guess it was last week, right? The end of last week was charged with murder for this person, Kevin Craig, down in South Carolina, who we knew nothing about, Dave, when we started. As you know, this is the beauty of Barstool. Like, people could criticize Barstool all day. We can get to these idiots on Twitter who think that, us doing true crime is a bad thing. That's fine. But if you remember, Dave, I don't know if you remember or not, I called you up and said, hey, I want to do a true crime series. And you said, great. And I think the whole conversation, as usual with us, was 45 seconds.
Yep.
I went and dove in. I started with this young girl, Jennifer Faye in Brockton, who went missing in 1989. it led us to Kevin Mailer, who was living in Brockton at the time, which brought us to South Carolina, where this other girl who Kevin knew was missing. And now the police and us on the Case podcast, we first said this. We believe that Kevin killed this Kevin Craig because this Kevin Craig knew that Mailer was involved with this other girl's death down in South Carolina. So it just spirals and spirals. And when we showed up, Kevin Craig was a cold case. It was not being investigated. And now he's being charged. And the people, the Oconee County Police Department did great work as well. But without us, I firmly believe that this would not have happened. So we are the reason for this happening.
It's very impressive. What for somebody who
and I'm sorry, Dave, I don't want to take a victory lap. God knows. I don't want to seem like, I don't want to seem like I'm, me, I'm not one to gloat. When I get a win, I'm not going to, I'm trying to be classy.
But I am going to say for somebody, all fun and games, I mean, that has to be a pretty surreal feeling, especially like I saw the quote from the family being like, it's about time. Like we're thankful, but we'd like him to speak. What was your reaction when you saw this?
Total shock. Well, so like I said in my show, so I kept talking. It got pretty quiet. We finished the case the middle of 2021. It had been pretty quiet. We kept checking in, but somebody there who I spoke to, one of my sources down there, one of the people we had talked to said, hey, just so you know, I have somebody in prison who said that they had put a warrant in front of this person while they were being interviewed by Kevin Mailer. An arrest is happening. And we hear stuff all the time, and sometimes it's bullshit, sometimes it's fourth hand. So I reached out to the sheriff and I said, off the record, what's going on? He said, yeah, we're announcing an arrest tomorrow. So I kept it quiet for that day. I was absolutely stunned. I mean, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled for his family. I'm thrilled for Faith Roach, his family. I think it gives them hope. April Jones is somebody else who I think we're going to keep an eye on. I think there'll be maybe some news with that coming up as well. It's another person involved. And Jennifer Faith's family, I think, now has hope. So it's great. It's wild. When I started this, just wanted to tell a story. I didn't think that it was going to, that's best case, but completely surreal, totally crazy.
And then
he was the guy you did the lie detector with, right?
That's right. Yeah. So I did a lie to Eddie. Thanks. I did a Kevin Mailer wanted to he's one of these guys like, I'm innocent. So I set up a lie detector test. We paid for it at a hotel conference room in South Carolina. He and I and the lie detector guy were there. I left. They took the test. About a half hour in, the guy's like, it's take 2-3 hours. A half hour in or so, the guy who administered the test said, hey, like, you got to come back here. He kept falling asleep during the test. He didn't fail it, but he didn't pass it. So that guy left. And I sat there for an hour and a half and interviewed Mailer one-on-one about it. It was one of the episodes was just that, about everything. And I sat there with this guy who I think is responsible for at least 3 or 4 deaths, honestly. And we had a conversation for an hour and a half, which seems even crazier now. But I don't know who the craziest person in the room was, but it was quite a conversation.
Yeah, that's definitely up for debate. And then the reaction to the whole thing, which I guess is sort of predictable.
Inevitable.
Yeah, I didn't realize the backlash because you don't, even though we should be used to it at Barstool, I didn't see people being like, what's Barstool doing this for? What are they doing that for? But that's always, I don't want to say I take pleasure in it, but there were people who, when Kirk announced the case, just the knee-jerk, what's Barstool doing? This is the worst thing ever. This is disgrace. This is opportunism. This is whatever, without even giving it a chance. And then when you call them to the carpet, and they'll say attack, I say hold accountable, is still refused to even give an ounce of credit to the work that was done. But that's to be expected. I think in my mind, and I know we talked about it a little bit before, you were planning on running this back, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we were sort of always hoping this was going to happen, in some form or fashion. So we were going to revisit it. And we're going to continue to revisit now because there's going to be a trial. I think there's going to be.
Well, I didn't mean that. Aren't you? Wasn't your plan to do a new cold case?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I guess we can announce it here. Season 2 is going to start October 27th.
I mean, from a selfish perspective, you can't get more credibility. I mean, your first.
Oh yeah, and this isn't going to be. This is not like it's not going to be a missing person with every time it's investigative. I felt like if you do a missing person every single time, I think it kind of loses its. So we're going to revisit that, but this is going to be a different sort of investigation. Yeah, but we have another 2 true missing girls or women series that we're going to be doing with it going forward too. But let me just say one thing about the sort of these guys, this Evan Romano and these other people who said that why is Barstool doing this? I don't even really mind that. Like you, I sort of take some pleasure in it. My issue is like when they're proven wrong, you can take a loss. Like we just say, yeah, you know what? On this one, like I still hate Barstool. I think Kirk Minahane's an asshole. I think Dave Portnoy's an asshole. I think whoever. But hey, you know what? They did a good thing here. Like let's take this loss, and believe me, we'll find something stupid Kirk says later. And go. The inability to just be like, yeah, did we fuck this one up? Is what really always still. I don't know why. It still surprises me. I don't know why it shouldn't.
And it's generally the same chain of events. We'll tweet it. They'll do something. They'll act like they think it's fun. Oh, this stinks. I'm getting my Twitter mentions disrupted for 25 minutes. And then 10 minutes later, they're gone. It's like, oh, it's not funny. Yeah, just it is easy just be a hand up. They're the worst, but they did a good job there. They'll never do that. They're too deeply. Anybody who would, to be honest, out of the blue, like that Evan Romano, who would just comment on it to begin with, to be like, I can't believe, and not once, he did like 5 times. Like, this is the worst thing in the history of journalism. They're so far gone, and they've made up their mind. It is what it is. Would you say this
Did he say anything? He went protected. I didn't see.
Yes, the first thing he said was basically, I'm being attacked. I don't really care. And then 10 minutes later, he was gone. He was ghosting in the wind.
He's protected, and he's just gone. And then to your point, it's just accountability. Like, if you throw that out there, like, a year and a half later, you got to be prepared to eat shit. Like on this one, like, you have to do it. But that's, there are different rules.
To be honest, should have eaten shit well before. And that just, again, speaks. Obviously, Barstool is a satire, for the most part, make fun, bust balls. So maybe I could see someone's thought, like, wait a minute, they're going to a cold case. This is like people's lives. But it was very evident. And even when Kirk and I talked briefly, that this was not something that we were gonna, Dukes was doing the cold case. Kirk was gonna spend
correct
and spend time, do it correctly, do it justice. So that's all. We know we're not idiots. So if you listen to one episode of the case, he was already proven wrong. There was nothing that was going to be done in a fashion that would be like, what are they doing? These are people's lives. That was obvious right off the bat. So regardless of the outcome, he was already wrong. The outcome just kind of puts a nail in the coffin and re-brings it up. And who brought it up? Was it Blattman who originally?
Messaged me about it or brought up initially was Mikey Fowler.
Oh yeah, Mikey podcast.
Yeah, he's very into it. Yeah, he's very into it. So he sent that to me because I remember there were 3 or 4 people that did this, and I did get it. I mean, I think they thought, like, to your point, like Frank the Tank was going to go out and solve a murder or something. So like I get the joke in that, but like you said, like, go listen to the first one. Like, we took this, we interviewed hundreds of people. Like, we were.
It was very thorough. It was very thorough. And to be honest, I would never. The conversation was quick with Kirk. Kirk, it was obvious it was going to be taken that way, and that's why it was a no-brainer to do. So where would you?
Let me just say. Let me say it once again. That's why I'm happy and proud to work for this company. They let you do things like this, and other companies would hem and haw. I'll tell you, the last company I worked for. Odyssey, which is available now. If Dave, you want to purchase it for, I think, $25,000. If we want to get together and do that, maybe we can get that to Alex. Maybe you can own Odyssey.
I'm down.
I love that.
Like the minute a lawyer came in or somebody said something, or Odyssey would have been shut it down. Don't do this podcast. Don't do it. As opposed to this company, which is like, no, we believe in you. We trust you. Like, during the process, I definitely talked to Eric. I definitely talked to other people. Even you, I talked to once or twice, just to let you know what's going on. And like, this definitely wouldn't have happened if I worked in another company. Like, no chance. So you guys deserve, some credit for it. Not as much credit as me, obviously. I risked my life, but you guys deserve.
I was going to say, in the pantheon, in the Kirk Minihane trophy room, would you say this is the number one accomplishment? Like, where would you put this in your
Yeah, I mean, looking at the EI's ratings right now, is that satisfied as much as giving family? Yeah, it probably still
did you
does.
see they actually replied to me when I kind of
I
said something about their bankruptcy, and they replied underneath that it was not true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're so dumb. They tried to make like this formal statement, and they quote tweet you saying Dave was right. They're so fucking dumb. They can't do anything right. It's
all the people to quote tweet, they quote tweet me. Yeah. It was very impressive, Kirk. Very impressive.
Well, thank you. And season 2 will be out at the end of October. And I'll be back in New York, I think, doing trivia against for Jeff D. Lowe's season 1 trivia. I'll be there. I'll see you in a couple of weeks, Dave. Are you gonna be in New York?
When?
I don't know, first week in October. I don't know.
It's borderline. I'm September a lot, and then October I gotta get my taxes. I gotta get to Florida. All this whole thing goes up in smoke.
Right.
Me getting the taxes.
Right,
the mini golf also is out today, I believe. So
I saw that. It took longer than the case to put together.
We had so many different microphones. I look so fat in it. It's gonna make me really start working and sweating.
To be fair, I didn't have a microphone.
No,
so
I know. I realized that after that. I fixed that. Thank God. Thank you, Kirk.
You are pro. All right, boys. Good to talk to you.
See you.
Thanks, Kirk. Appreciate it.
See you guys.
It is very impressive.
Yeah, I want to reiterate again. If you haven't listened, go check it out. I listened to it when it came out, and that lie detector episode with the guy who just got arrested is very bizarre.
Crazy.
It's very bizarre. And like Kirk said, you could see when he said it that he sat in a room with that guy for an hour and a half. It's probably very crazy. So great job, Kirk.
Eddie, do you think we should hear Alex's story? See, I don't know what. I think it's interesting. I just heard his story. We were just kind of shooting the shit before we came on here. For me, like I came in, I landed in New Jersey, all right? And I decided to play blackjack on my way from New Jersey to New York. So that's 20 minutes max that you have, right, to play. I played about 20 hands. I started $5,000 a hand. $5,000. I lost my first 3, down 15 grand. Very upset with myself. Decided I'm going to play 3-handed blackjack, $5,000 a hand. I lost 20 straight hands, Eddie. I'm not kidding. I have the screenshot, the history. Eddie, one hand, I had 2 blackjacks in 20. I lost $5,000. Dealer had 21 or blackjack. I'd say 80% of the time. So I'm motherfucking people. I come in, Stephen Shea is pink eye, literally. And I'm like, man, like this sucks. And then Alex is here, and I hear his story, and it puts things in perspective. I'm a cold guy. Kirk's a cold guy. But hearing what Alex went through a little bit, I think puts things, like I went from in a very bad mood to like, you know what, a little bit appreciative of things. So it may be worth it. Our listeners, you know, they could be having bad days, but if you give the background of the heart surgery going in, like what we talked about, I think is interesting and worth hearing.
Yeah, I'd love to. First of all, Kirk, cheers to you, man. That's awesome.
He's gone, but we'll pass that along to him.
Yeah, cheers to him. So basically, I was born with a single ventricle heart. No, those who know that, it's one side of your heart works. So I was born with a bad heart growing up. My whole life it was, sucked, but couldn't play sports, couldn't do what normal things could do, what normal people could do, right? And I needed a heart transplant when I was, 19 years old because of a surgery that went wrong, an ablation out of Seattle or Spokane, actually. And they gave me 6 months to live in Spokane because the wait for a heart in Spokane for someone my age is about 12 years. So they gave me 6 months. And then we ended up, I kind of gave up hope.
And even before this, you said your heart, you were having episodes where you'd be like rushed to the hospital SVT once a month?
It was more like, at first it was once a month. Growing up, it was like once, twice a month. But then as things got more after the ablation, it was like twice a week, 3 times a week. It was insane. So the ablation is basically a surgery that they said that could stop those episodes. And me dealing with that my whole life, I was like, let's do it. Let's get this done. Because having those episodes, you're scared to go on a date with a girl. What if you're taking her to go eat and you get a heart episode?
A heart episode, when you have a heart episode, what exactly happens?
Heart goes up to like 140, 145.
And what is your body doing? Like, are you having a seizure? Like what?
No. So you're fine, besides the fact that you feel like you're running a marathon and it's just not stopping. You're out of breath, you're tired, you feel like you're dying. And then they take you to the hospital and they give you a medicine called adenosine, which is a medicine that literally stops your heart to reset it. So that is terrible.
Jeez.
So they give you 60 cc's or however that were 6 cc's. And then when that doesn't work, most of the time it didn't work. They gave these 12, which just felt amazing. It was terrible. But so after all that, so after the ablation, they told 2% chance that something will go wrong, 20-some% chance that you'll stay the same, and the rest was that things will get better, right? That's what we were going for. So they ended up, it was like a 4 or 5 hour surgery, and they sent my heart with SVT, with a pacemaker that I got an emergency pacemaker in, and then they like shock some nerves in your heart that makes it go into SVT. And they basically did that so many times. They put my heart and shocked it so many times that it just messed. It just, my lifespan from when, because I always knew I was going to need a heart transplant, but the lifespan went from like needing it when I was 30 all the way down. So I lost about 10 years, I guess. And so, you know, that's when, let's go back to when they said I have 6 months to live. Wait for a heart is 12 years in Spokane. So they basically, you know, said I was going to die. I gave up. You know, my dad, got to give my dad, my mom props for going out there, getting private insurance, going out there talking to doctors around the world, everywhere. And there's 3 doctors, and my cardiologist in Spokane actually helped me out too. They talked to doctors. They talked to doctors when they had their regional congenital heart disease meeting. They just talked to, and there's three places they said would be willing to take me: New York, Philly, and UCLA. And they told me pick the right one, and he gave me 3 folders. He said pick the right one, because if one of these decides to say no, then they'll all say no, because it's if New York says no, I try to go.
Because the risk goes up, basically.
They're all like, well, if New
they
York said no,
got it.
then we're not going to say, right? So I picked closest to home. I picked UCLA. Just thank God, nurses, phenomenal. Props to all my nurses. And UCLA said yes. They said, and you know, it gave me hope. And they said I'll get a heart in about 3 months. The heart, you know, UCLA's crazy. So the time went up, everything went up, and I moved to UCLA. And they told me I would have to wait inside the hospital. You know, I wanted to wait outside the hospital so I could have some fun, but they would put me higher status on the list if I waited inside instead. And so 3 months went to 5 months, went to 6 months, went to. I spent Christmas in there. I spent the 10 months in the hospital, which, you know, sorry docs, but I snuck out a few times.
Right.
One time I took my whole IV pool to Chick-fil-A, was getting stared at by everybody. I got caught sneaking out only 3 times, but the 3rd time they sat me down and they said, Alex, if you sneak out one more time, I'm gonna have to take you off the list. But by then I was already getting weaker. You know, I got in there with all this energy, and slowly I was getting weaker and weaker, and it got to the point where I couldn't even shower when they said that we'd have to wipe you down with the wet wipes or whatever. And I said no. The day I can't take a shower on my own, that's the day I give up. So I kept passed out in the shower a couple times. You know,
crazy.
But we made it. Got my heart on January 4th, 2019. Got my heart. Got the news. You know, a lot of tears that day. A lot of tears, and recovery was recovery was insane.
And did you? Not to put like that. The one thing you said, I think, in the story, there were 5. You had 5.
Oh yeah. I had 5 friends with me I met in the hospital. Dear to my heart. Only 2 of us made it out, because, you know, obviously there's not enough hearts there. You know, if it's okay, can I strongly encourage people to be an organ donor?
Of course.
Because there's a lot of people in the hospital that I go with, and there's a lot of myths about organ donation. Some people said doctors don't even work on Easter, which they're myths, right? And I strongly encourage anybody out there to please be an organ donor, because I had 5 friends in the hospital. They were all around my age. And only 2 of us made it out alive because of there wasn't enough hearts for, you know, there's a time. I think I had about 2-3 months left, they said, before I finally got my heart thing. And yeah, so I'm happy to be here, and
it's a crazy story. It does put things in perspective, that losing a couple of hands in blackjack with all he's gone through. Like I said, still maybe a miss on the Make-A-Wish. I don't know what I wished for. And it's funny because, Eddie, I guess we met And I didn't realize it at the first Canelo fight. We're actually going back. And he has a picture. He's like, I met you at the Canelo fight. And I said, I'm your Make-A-Wish. And I'm like, nice, send an email. I must have had no idea what he was talking about when he came up to me, because everyone comes out, it's like, hey, business ideas, this, that, this. I'm like, yeah, send an email. So, yeah, I knew he was coming in, but I didn't realize we had met. But it is, I mean, thank God he made it. And it's one of those things, you hear stories like that, it certainly puts, whatever, myself, anybody else, what we're dealing with on a daily basis in perspective.
Yeah, dude, going twice a week and then 10 months they're waiting, it could not have been easy. So props to you, dude.
I'm glad we told that story, yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Is there any, what else were you considering besides Barstool?
It was us.
It was Barstool. It was Barstool. There was it was Barstool or Full Send. Make-A-Wish didn't want to do Full Send because of
they're a little bit risque. See, we're clean. We're clean.
Yeah, Barstool.
They're nice guys. I'm sure they'd meet you too. Kyle's a nice dude.
Yeah, probably. Interesting. And what's like? How long have you been reading Barstool and whatnot?
Oh, since the hospital. I've been watching the videos since the hospital.
It's crazy. He actually, I think he does these blackout parties that look like our early blackout parties. Like I was watching him, he was showing me the videos, like 2,000 people. They literally, and they're called blackout, at least one of them, they look identical to what we were doing. So it's a matter of time till he gets shut down.
Yeah,
but
I got the. No, I think we're coming around soon. Being shut down. I think we get there. I got inspiration off from the blackout parties here with Dave, and watched all the documentaries, and I was like, man, this guy really knows how to live life to the fullest. So that's what I like to preach out to everybody that I associate with. Let's live life to the fullest. That's why I throw my events and we have fun. Right?
I love it.
It's great, man. Happy you're here.
Thank you.
Chime in here whenever you want. Wow, I don't know how we talk about Frank the Tank at the Mets game on TV after that.
Hilarious. Hilarious. So I saw that video, Frank the Tank. Well done by SNY and their broadcasting. They must have spotted him, but the video of them just saying we have happy Mets fans when they win, and then the part of the Mets community who seems to be upset when they win, and as they call it, the dark side of Twitter, and they just focus on the Tank was perfect.
It was great.
Playoff baseball at the Mets is going to be something, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it really is. The streams should be great, and just everything about it should be awesome. If you want to go to a playoff game, maybe, or if you want to go to an NFL game, obviously we're coming up for week 2. Dave, where can you buy tickets?
Game Time. Game Time's the place to do it. Created by fans, for fans. Game Time is a new ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concert shows, guarantee the lowest price. If you haven't given Game Time a shot yet, what are you waiting for? Tons of Barstool fans are using it. Hit us up on social, telling us great deals. We've been using Game Time all year. I'm actually going tonight to Red Hot Chili Peppers with Nate Dogg.
Oh,
that's tonight.
Yeah, that should be exciting.
So easy to use, amazing deals, unforgettable memories. You're going to love it. Download the Game Time app, go to the account tab, create a login, redeem code DPS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time, last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
Beautiful. Also, speaking of football, hopefully Will will be joining the show. We're trying to get in touch here, talk about Scott Frost.
Nebraska. God damn, they stink. Holy moly. They can't be in the Sun Belt. 3-0 this past weekend. Crazy. That I didn't see that A&M game coming. Obviously, Nebraska lost. And Notre Dame. The Marshall one, and like 20 points, just crazy. What a weekend.
Yeah, a lot of upsets. Speaking of which, how was Iowa?
Iowa was great. It got a little hairy, I will say. Like, they were firing full cans of everything. Some at high velocity, seemingly at Brandon Walker, who deserved it and was provoking it. But Casey took one. Casey almost got fucking murdered. Security guard Mike, I don't know if you saw that clip. Like at the last second, it felt like we're in Roadhouse. We needed a cage, and we are a loosey-goosey show. So it's like, I don't mind people throwing, but to be firing a million. It got dangerous. And we talked about it after. It's like, what could we have done to stop it? Because we kind of egg it a little, and that's like, stop, because like you're throwing full things like 100 miles per hour. Someone gets hit in the fucking eye, and a girl did get hit in the back. It's more the crowd. Like the front crowd has their back, so they can't see what's being thrown. And the only thing we could come up with is stop the show. Like just not cancel, but like we're not continuing till people stop throwing, because it did get dangerous. But the crowd was awesome. I love Iowa, but we can't allow people just to take target practice at us for 45 minutes.
That was chaos. And you're right. I don't know how you fucking. I don't know. How
we're like, seriously, most people stop, but they're drunk, they're lit, they're firing. That's why when you go to a lot of things, they make you, they pour your beer or your high noon into a cup, because you can't fire like but a full high noon, you can Rico Bosco somebody.
Yeah, it was fucking Woodstock 99 over there.
Yeah. It was quite a rush, but I mean, geez.
Yeah. Security guard Mike was unbelievable. That catch, and it's his season. It's his season.
Yep. There's also a great picture of me. There was a sign that said "Blodgett for jail" at a frat.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta go over and take a picture, and everyone's pointed towards the camera, and security Mike is just focused on me like I'm JFK. Probably a bad analogy since he got murdered, but he looked at me like I was the president.
He's the best, man.
Yep.
He's the best. But yeah, it looked like from that, obviously you did the Casey's live on air. No love for Casey's again, unfortunately, but.
Yeah, I like Casey's. We bust balls. They sent me a DM. They're like, whenever you want an unbiased review, let us know. We'll be ready. It's a good, sneaky, friendly rivalry, me versus Casey's.
Yeah, they don't take it too serious.
No, I like Casey. I like the people. They're great people. I don't like the pizza, but they're great people.
Have you tried the regular with sauce? Like pizza sauce?
No, they brought me a pizza with everything on it.
Yeah, that's an interesting move. I feel like you should try that one.
They should have known better. You're a cheese guy.
I know, I'm a cheese guy.
Even I know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Will Compton says he's in the middle of a workout, year 10. Do you want me to press him?
We got time. Or
did you hear the part about the Blackout tour?
Yeah, I was listening the whole time.
If you saw his video, they literally, I'm not exaggerating, they look exactly like our early Black. Like if you said that was us at early days, I'm like, yeah, I know, I've seen it 100 times. It looked exactly like ours. Big too, like 2,000 people.
Love that.
I don't know how he did. He set back the clock. I mean, girls doing the same thing. It looked like us.
I learned from the best.
Yeah,
I watched
studied the game tape.
I studied the documentaries.
Very well.
Paulie playoffs and Alex. That's a team to look out for.
He was the one who ran all our early blackouts.
I remember the videos. Yeah. Awesome.
I'd have to check that out.
Yeah.
You got anything on the Queen?
So I'm a royal guy. Everyone knows that. I've said that many times. I find it fascinating. I certainly, are you asking me like the hate that came out? And I get it.
Yeah, I think it's multifaceted, the conversation.
It's a very deep, and I was trying to explain it to somebody, and I used the analogy maybe of like the South here. Like they have traditions and things that Southern people, I think, would say they're proud of. And it is their culture and it is their history, but they also had slaves. So it's like, I could see someone being like, you like the Confederate flag or you like Dixie? It's like, well, to me, that's a symbol of like racism and stuff. It's very hard to pick. Like, was the Queen responsible for anything? Does the English monarchy, like probably a lot of historical countries, have a laundry list of atrocities that they've committed? I'm sure, including the United States. Like all countries have done things that they're probably not proud of, but it is still historical. It goes back in time and your history. So I get both sides. I personally like the historical significance of it, and I can separate things, but it is certainly a complicated, like there's atrocities throughout history. There just is. So if you look back and celebrate your history, there's going to be things like, wait a minute, are you celebrating this, that? Like, what's that mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, yeah. No,
but I find the history, I'm a history guy. I find it very interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then the reaction was like,
yeah, I didn't see that coming. I said to Gaz, because Kevin made fun of it, and I was getting all this hate, like, you hate the Queen. I actually love the Queen. It's one of my favorite moments that I've had, or not favorite, where I was like, wow, this is really cool, was at Royal Ascot, the horse race in London, and the Queen comes down and, like, getting carried, and the entire, like, grandstand is, like, chanting all hail the Queen, or whatever it was, like, long live the Queen. I think that's fascinating and cool. But also, like, there was that one woman who went super viral because they said England, like, led genocides in her country, basically. I forget, it's how stupid I am, like Farafore or something. And I could certainly get, again, if that was my people or whatever, and I felt like England was directly responsible, or Ireland, you see, I don't know how I'd feel. I haven't been on that side of it, but I find the historical significance, like, very interesting.
There was like a full rugby stadium chanting it in Ireland, like the Queen is in the box or something like that.
Yeah.
It was first Twitter was insane.
Yeah,
It
was depending on where you are and how you are, but it clearly has historical significance.
You think it reminds you of, like, I was thinking about Braveheart, like the Scots versus English.
Yeah,
like,
well, there's that degree of history.
What was your thoughts on Manchester City, Tottenham? Well, I guess every Premier League get postponed.
Yeah, that just goes again to the differences, like, and depending where you are, how you grew up, how you viewed this.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to take.
Do you remember in the height of the Viva La Stool sign era, where we used to post them, and it was like, we can get signs anywhere? We had a Viva La Stool sign in the royal wedding in the courtyard. That was probably the height of the Viva La Stool phenomenon.
Those were great, dude. Adam Sandler. There were so many big ones.
I thought that those were like full-time jobs, getting those galleries put up.
Yeah. Would you do those yourself, or would you do them?
No, I did them.
Yeah. I mean, just pictures upon pictures, overseas, everything.
Everywhere. And you had to go through every one, and like 90% of them were just, like, useless. But we were getting so many, like, if you weren't in the royal courtyard, you weren't getting on. Like, you had to be, like, in the final four, royal courtyard somewhere.
Yeah. No, it was awesome.
Parades, you name it.
Yeah, it was huge. This weekend, big weekend, you're calling the Canelo Triple G fight.
Yeah, huge. That's where Alex and I met, the first one. I do wish he won the last one. I think it takes a little of the luster off, but this is his weight class. He's never lost in this weight class, I don't believe. It's his go-to weight class. Obviously, it's a rivalry. Like, we knew we were doing this fight before the Bivol fight. So it was kind of like a two-package thing. But yeah, it's a huge fight. So much going on with boxing. It's interesting because they announced the Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva fight. You had another, like, TikTok fight this weekend that I didn't pay any attention to. Austin McBroom got knocked out. Like, there's so much. It's weird. Maybe because the world I live in, I hear more about this other junk, like the Jake Paul, than I do about this Triple G Canelo, which is, like, an unbelievable fight. Are you a boxing guy?
Yeah.
Do you watch, like, the Jake Paul? Are you interested in that stuff?
Yeah. I'm seeing I'm curious to know what do you think about Jake Paul? Do you think he's actually
Jake Paul?
Yeah, Jake Paul.
I think Jake Paul's. I don't know what the odds are. I think he's going to beat Anderson
You
Silva.
think Jake Paul? See, I lost my fair share of money on Canelo, but Jake Paul, I've won some money just betting on Jake Paul. So
Yeah.
what do you think about the Canelo fight in this weight class? You think he's going to take it?
I think he's going to win. He's much younger than Triple G. Triple G. I don't know what the odds are. What are the official?
I think it was minus 400 last time I
So he's a
checked.
huge favorite. That's bigger than I think what it was reverse for Bivol.
For Bivol, he was favored for Bivol.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I think Canelo wins. He's younger. It's his weight class. I think it'll be a good fight, entertaining fight. I think Canelo will come out with something to prove because he lost the last one. Yeah.
Also, it could be the other way around, though.
Yeah.
Because he's so used to winning.
Gun shy a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Large was saying, our boxing guy, last time Canelo lost, he came out like a house of fire. I think he lost to Floyd last time. So
there you go.
I will
It's more
watch
interesting than the Bivol fight.
this one.
Yeah. Even though he lost, I mean, it's not. It's a trilogy. It's technically not a rubber match. It was a draw
but
win,
would you be more interested in seeing fight Bivol again or Triple G? Me, probably Bivol. like a rematch to see if he could do anything. I don't know that he can do anything.
With how bad he
Triple G
lost
so
last
I
time.
know. He may not be able to do anything.
Maybe if Bevo goes down a weight class
I know.
to his weight class,
Yeah.
and just
I
take
want to
all
see
his
them both,
belts.
to be honest.
Yeah. I'm excited for the Jake Paul Anderson Silva.
Me too.
They are perfect. Shout out Nikisa, perfect at picking his opponents. Nikisa's like runs MVP promotions for him because there's a lot there's that clip of Dana White being like, he'll never fight Anderson Silva. I don't hear him saying Anderson Silva yet, because Anderson Silva is uniformly recognized as one of the best UFC fighters ever, right? And he beat Cesar Chavez Jr. Now, way past his prime, he beat Cesar Chavez Jr., but he beat a former world champion boxer. He's got all the respect in the world. People say he's a striker, but he's still 50 years old, basically. I think Jake Paul's going to knock him out. I really do.
I think it's like payday though. Like Silva just wants to get like a big paycheck now that he's at like the tail end.
Maybe.
Like, does he even care?
I think he does. Well, I mean,
You don't want to get knocked out, though. It don't matter.
It is
who.
an interesting thing. It's the first time they're doing the respect angle. It's not like Jake Paul talking all the shit. He's really showing a lot of respect for him. So who knows? But I'm interested to see it. And another perfect opponent for Jake Paul. It really is.
I do think Jake Paul. I do think Anderson Silva is still an animal. Like he's
right.
He's an animal. So
That's why it's the perfect opponent.
It is, and I think the haters, the Jake Paul haters, are
they're gonna watch. I think they think he elevated, but I still think this is an easier opponent than fighting a 22-year-old 4-8 professional boxer.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know though. It's not like Anderson Silva's been sitting on the couch. Like you just said, he just fought.
He's an animal.
Yeah, but who'd he fight?
Yeah.
He fought a guy way past his prime who hadn't won in 10 fights or something.
But you're still staying in shape. You're still out
Yeah,
there.
no,
You're still getting a lot of reps.
I don't disagree.
Silva fought Tito Ortiz as well, I think.
Yeah, knocked him out in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, but
I don't know what that means.
Jake, they reached out, so Jake's going to come on soon. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Roback before we move on, Dave.
Yeah, Roback Sports they're the sponsor of our football show too, the college football show, soft and stretchy, perfect for any activity, any season. I'm like, and I'm getting on the fat side. That golf video, I'm like, damn, I gotta start. I can't do push-ups, which kills me because of my shoulder. So I gotta do sit-ups. I gotta do something. In fact, if there's any personal trainers who can get me skinny, knowing I can't use my arms, let me know. But the point of this, the Roback shirt that I wore in Iowa actually made me look pretty good. So keep that in mind. Rock them in the office, out at night, or on a cool morning run. No matter the setting, Roback Q-Zips are the answer. Made with moisture-wicking performance fabric, tagless, so they never itch. Roback, now the go activewear for college athletes, with stars like Will Anderson, Beyond Robinson, and Michael Mayer rocking the gear that's starting to take over. Use the code Eddie on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's spelled Roback.com, 20% off all polos, Q-Zips, hoodies, and tees with the code Eddie. Make sure to check out their gear because trust us, it's life-changing. And like I said, it did make me look better than I look right now, so I'm happy for that.
RHOBACK.com, promo code Eddie. It's great stuff. It's great stuff. You talked about it earlier. Obviously, Alex, you said you're a Cowboys fan. It's a tough week.
Yes, sir.
Tough week gambling.
Yes, sir. It was a tough week. It was a tough week.
So I put $150,000 on the Cowboys. And to say they sucked, and this was, I'm trying to be a responsible gambler in the sense like I never make money, and I had a plan in my head, bet the same amount every single game this year, which is $25,000. That's my unit. I know it's a ton. Sorry, I starred Barstool and lived in a closet and made a lot of money. I like to gamble. To feel it, $25,000 is what I got to do. I always get the fucking peanut gallery. You could donate, do this, do that. Listen, you weren't saying it when I was betting $100 a game. I like gambling. What, I can't gamble anymore? I can't bet $100. I have to bet it where I feel something. So 25's my unit. I was not chasing. I looked at the card and I'm like, I'm betting this game. The Cowboys are going to win. I love this game. So even though I'm like same unit, I'm like, usually when I bet big, I'm chasing tail. Nope. I had planned out. I put the bet in.
I was gonna say, can I ask why you bet on the Cowboys?
Yes.
As a Dallas Cowboy fan, I'm
Yes.
I'm stoked.
Yes, I can, and I'll answer that. it really had less to do with the Cowboys. Tom Brady, there's all the rumors about him getting a divorce, trouble at home. He missed camp for like 11 days, which he never does. He's traditionally kind of a slow starter. Like, I'm a Patriot fan, so I've watched him my whole career. And even when they win Super Bowls, he'll start 2-2, 1-3 sometimes. So I'm like, he's going to start slow. He hasn't been concentrating at camp. They're just going to be off. And by the way, I was pretty much right. The Bucs offense scored 19 points. They started a drive at the 20, got a field goal. They weren't playing well. Their timing was off.
Field goal fest.
Yeah, so I was right about why I placed the bet. The Cowboys offense, that was the most anemic NFL offense. I don't, and I know there was rumors like you guys didn't re-sign. You lost the wide receiver. Amari Cooper,
yeah.
Gallup, and somebody was hurt. But it's like, I thought Dak was pretty good. I still throw the ball around, get 3 touchdowns. Isn't a lot of points in the NFL. No. They couldn't do anything. It was the most anemic offensive performance. It's so depressing, Eddie, to bet that much and know you're dead like instantly. Yeah, they went down, got the first drive. After that, they had like 5 first downs. Like the Patriots, who lost, moved the ball. They're moving the ball up and down and turnovers and maybe miss. The Cowboys couldn't get a first down. It was disgusting.
And now Dak needs hand surgery.
I don't know if that's good or bad. He was that bad. Dak was that bad. They may be better with the other guy. Rush, honestly.
Rush.
You think that's worse, though, when you're stuck in mud the whole game rather than like you get to the red zone a bunch of times and you turn it over?
Well, I don't know how
what's worse.
it's like. There is a degree of me when I place a big bet like that where you can rationalize it's crazy expensive entertainment, but it's entertainment. That wasn't entertainment. That was that was gruesome. I turned the game off. I was watching something else in the third quarter. It was like they're inept. There's no chance of them doing anything.
Yeah, like you'd rather add one more to the bad beat folder than get a stuck in mud game.
Yeah,
like
right. At least get some content out of it.
Yeah.
Like what happened at Jersey Jerry.
That's what I was going to ask you about. What do you think about Jersey Jerry's situation?
I'm glad he went for it. Terrible loss. They fumbled twice. They kicked the field goal. I'm on such a losing streak right now with Big. I had the Broncos as well. Frustrating, but you got to take the shot. I always say this: when you to hedge, which you can, or cash out, Westy wants you to cash out. There's no casino. There's no anybody in the world. The reason they offer you surrender and blackjack, it's in the house's odds. So never take it. Never take it. That's the way I look at that.
Dude,
by the way,
that was
Jersey
one of the worst
Jerry
calls ever.
Throwing in $8,000 birthday for his 1-year-old is the most idiotic, dumbest. If we put that into Dave Portnoy terms, like my net worth versus his net worth, that would mean if I had a 1-year-old, that I'm throwing probably a $20 million birthday party for a 1-year-old. Like, honestly, his agenda is like 70 people, gift card. Well, 1-year-old doesn't remember. What are you doing, Jerry? I made him send me the itinerary. When he said he was spending $8,000 for a 1-year-old's birthday, taking a fucking Chuck E. Cheese, it's $100. That is crazy. That he is.
What did he do? I missed this. When did he talk about this?
Well, he said he had to hedge. Like he could have cashed out for $10,000 or try to win the 15. And all he needed was the Broncos to win. They were 7-point favorites. So I was like, don't hedge because they want you to. He's like, well, I got my kid's birthday party. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, my 1-year-old's birthday party cost me $8,000. I was like, are you insane? What
the fuck's he got the cake boss coming?
He's insane. Somebody.
What's crazier? Did you see what he wore to the stream on Thursday night?
That was
no.
He wore.
You didn't see that?
You didn't see that? He wore the shorts from the training route.
Yeah. I did see that, but they were clean, right?
Yeah, they were. As clean as I can get.
You wouldn't junk those, Dave?
They're part of history. They belong in a museum. Where? All right. Let me. All right. I'm looking now. So some of the things. 50 lollipops times $5, 250. 48 cupcakes equals 100. 50 invites with envelopes and stamps, 8 times 8, 400. That he started putting this together. 8K in total. 6,000 plus tax for food and cake. 1,000 for the deposit venue. 55 a person times 70. He's serving like wood-fired Argentine grilled chicken. I don't know what the hell he's doing. A 1-year-old's birthday. Insane. So that's why he wanted to hedge. I may give him $5,000 for the fight, although not after that blackjack run. Whatever. At least neither of us needed to go through open heart surgery.
Fact.
Yeah.
Fact. You won fantasy though.
I did. I'm 1-0. I have 2 side bets going. Jock and Hosmer, we bet. I don't know if I can say it because I don't know how, but we have side bets. So I beat both of them as well. I'm 1-0 in fantasy. I almost lost because of the Cowboys, but yeah.
And did you appreciate Stephen Che's text?
For those who don't know, Stephen Che, I'm in a fantasy league with like major league guys like Mike Trout, like Manny Machado, Jock Peterson, Hosmer, bunch of guys. And it's fantasy, but I bet a lot. And I just lost that Cowboys bet. And Stephen Che, pink eye, texted me. He's like, congrats, you won fantasy. I know you're probably worried about your bet. It's like, yeah, Steve, I'm worried about my bet.
That was pink eye out there?
Yeah, pink eye. You met him.
What? So he's just fucking.
Yeah, his eye is pink. He's just got like a pink eye. I don't know. It's deformed and looks gross.
Oh no! Has he got a patch on? Patch?
No, not yet. Probably everyone here is gonna have pink eye. He'll survive the heart attack and all that. He'll die of pink eye.
That's tough. I also saw you were dropped from the Safe Moon lawsuit.
I was.
Congratulations.
Rightfully so, since I didn't do anything wrong.
Good. Well, you said you brought out the big guns. You were just like, hey.
No, I actually, it shows you how fucked up the legal system is. It cost me $20,000, like in legal fees to get dropped from that. I ended up saving a shit ton more in legal fees to have to defend it, but I literally did nothing wrong at all. But once you get named in a lawsuit, it costs you money. It's as my lawyer says, kind of the price of fame. Like this shit happens to you. But crazy.
So you could just keep getting popped with these and have to pay $20K every time?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, I didn't pay them. That's how much it costs my lawyer. Like my lawyers don't work for free, so they had to like get me out of it by working with their show all the facts. Like, listen, he did this, he still owns it. He's never he was very clear, and they're like, yeah, you're right, we'll drop him.
Can't you tell them they'll shout him out in a one bite pizza review or something?
I wish.
Well, congratulations to you, dropped from the lawsuit. Actually, let's get ready for Julian Edelman here. Before we do, though, I want to talk about ZipRecruiter. Hiring is challenging, especially right now when you have so much on your plate. Luckily, there's one place you can go where hiring is simple, fast, and smart. A place where growing businesses connect to qualified candidates. That place is ZipRecruiter.com/Barstool. ZipRecruiter does the work for you, okay? They use its powerful technology to find and match the right candidates up with your job. You can easily review these recommended candidates and invite your top choices to apply. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, to try it, ZipRecruiter for free, you can go to ZipRecruiter.com/Barstool. That's ZipRecruiter.com/BARSTOOL. ZipRecruiter.com/Barstool. Dave, it's not easy to hire, right?
It's one of the hardest things any company has to do, to be totally honest. Find good people. You don't have good people and you waste time on them, it sets you so far back. So yeah, it's a really hard thing to do.
It's an extremely hard thing to do. So make sure you're using ZipRecruiter for your hiring. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
I didn't know this was happening. I mean, I was hustling my ass out trying to fulfill a prescription. Tell me there's anything worse than going to fill a prescription hauling ass through the streets of New York and then just getting there and they're like, oh, we don't want to have it till tomorrow. An hour back and forth. What do you think my hair may fall out? It's Propecia. I need it for my hair.
So it's a hair prescription?
Well, when I got my hair started, you just take it to make sure your fucking hair, you don't go bald.
Oh, you got hair surgery?
Oh, yeah.
You know
Tell me
that?
about that. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's I got in the back. I was losing my hair, and it's like, if you have the financial although I didn't even pay for it. Shout out Lepresti, my doctor, the best. But yeah, it saved my hair. I mean, in this day and age, you're just lazy if you go bald.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm curious as to like what would be the cost of that if you don't have a hookup.
It's like $7 or $8 grand. But with
Dude,
you,
we're getting lazy.
Because I'm telling you, like I'm getting like my corners are getting up there. I get lighter on top. You know what I mean? Like you can see the V.
With you, I bet they
Like,
do it. I
it.
bet they do it. Same thing with me. As long as you are willing to say you did it, and like I don't have to promote it. I just have to record like a 30-second ad that they run on like Boston radio saying I did it.
Oh yeah, we need that. We'll get that at the upfront or something.
It does fucking hurt. I'll say that. Like it hurt more than I thought it would. But
what do they got to do? Like poke you in the head? Like what's your pain?
They take hair from where it grows, like so the side. Like all this is real. So they take it from the side where it grows still well, and they basically put it back where it doesn't grow well.
Did your face swell up? Because
No.
my boy Kirk Cousins did it, and I saw him like within 48 hours after doing it, and his face was all swelled up. You didn't want me to take a photo of him or nothing like that?
No, none of that. Like it just hurts in the back. It's numb, but no, none of that. So anyways, though, they give you the Propecia. You got to take like you still do that, which it's a daily pill. It doesn't do anything, but I haven't had it for 2 days. So I'm like, oh, am I going to undo all this shit? And so I hauled ass to get it. They didn't have it. It's like, well, I'm sweating now. I'm fucking sweating, and I may be losing my hair. So I got to come back tomorrow. I got the Upfronts tomorrow. I'm gonna be up there bald.
Yeah, you're grinding. Are you wearing jeans too?
Yep.
Yeah, you're definitely sweating.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I'll put in the sweat if I get the Propecia.
Yeah.
You got it worse than Will right now with everything he's going through?
Nobody has it worse than Will because, see, Will is like a true blue, like true red Nebraska fan. Like he lives, breathes, sleeps Nebraska football. They're the most embarrassing team maybe in the last 100 years. It takes a special...
Hey.
Well, no, that's a reverse compliment in a way because it's a perfect storm of stuff. You have to be as low as Will in Nebraska is, you have to be really high at one point. Like, you can't just stink. You can't just be Vanderbilt or Hawaii or teams like that who, all right, we don't expect much from them. This is a school that, when you think Nebraska, the state of Nebraska, you think Nebraska football, black shirts, Tom Osborne, beating Florida, run national championships, and now they're a doormat, and they can't beat a Sun Belt. They can't beat anybody, really. Yeah.
Oh, well, we beat North Dakota.
Yeah.
And I know you're saying I'm down bad, but I know you saw me swinging the trumpet. We're 1-0 when I'm present at games.
I mean, he doesn't even have. When you go this deep, it's like I saw the North Dakota one of those tight games, spin zone, and on the other point, Northwestern. They got curb stomped by Duke, I think.
Yeah, but you can't count the games that's on foreign soil. Like that's an international game. There's a lot of jet lag that goes into it. We're talking about kids playing football,
right?
You know what I mean? Like
what about the games where your players roll out of their dorms, walk down the street, and go into their own house versus a Sunbelt team?
Yeah, well, I would. Yeah, that stunk. That fucking hurt because last year we were actually good on defense. I think what's confusing to me was last year we struggled on special teams and the referees taking the game late in the fourth quarter. Our offense couldn't necessarily always close it out. This year our offense is scoring. Well, we look decent on offense. And I know we struggled first half against North Dakota, but we ended up bringing 21 unanswered in the fourth quarter at the end of that game to make it somewhat like, okay, we just need 4 of those quarters. And then we go against Georgia Southern. Yes, we were like wet toilet paper on defense, which is mind-boggling to me because we were good on defense last year. I like the staff we got over there on defense. But like Coach Joseph said, he said in his press conference today, he's focused on the boys. And another tidbit to take from that was Nebraska might be the only team in the country that doesn't have 2 DB coaches. Or in the NFL, everybody's got a safeties coach. Everybody's got a corners coach. And Chenander, Coach Chins, who's the D coordinator, he's only got 2 eyes. He can't see everything. He can't do all this and that. So I think, like, as much as you guys feel like I'm down bad, I was telling Eddie before you popped on, Dave, I'm always glass half full. Like, I'm going to find a way to be like, hey, like this week, this is Oklahoma's trap game. I like us in this situation. Now I might take us with the points, but Oklahoma's coming into Nebraska. Well, everybody's thinking, what do we have to play for? I think the boys, the seniors on that team, got a lot to play for. The Bussin' Bowl is going to happen. That's going to be something to play for. Now I think everybody, like, who knows? Maybe you got out the toxicity. I hate to say that about Scott Frost because it sucks that what we all thought was going to happen with Scott Frost didn't materialize into what it happened, whatever happened. But it's like maybe you change it up. First black coach in Nebraska history. Maybe the boys get rallied. Maybe Oklahoma comes in sleeping on us. They will. And we sneak one against Oklahoma. Because, again, our offense can score. Our defense was good last year. There's not a lot of pieces that went missing. We got some good transfers. I feel like if we just tighten up on defense, we'll be playing complimentary football.
I was wondering where the spin zone. I didn't see that one coming. The only team without 2 defensive backs coaches, so you can't see the entire field.
Dave, I know you're trying to play dumb with that, but there's 2 DB coaches on every high-performing, like every worth-a-shit football team in the country. NFL, NCAA. I'm sure Michigan's got 2 DB coaches.
So this was just something that Nebraska overlooked?
Who knows? I don't know. You know, I'm not in the war room with the boys trying to strategize. Like last year, he had to let go of some. He had to switch it up on the offensive staff. They had to go through some turnover. Like, I don't know what kind of leash my guy Frost had going into that 5th year. He had to restructure his deal to get that buyout cut in half done by October 1st. They said, fuck it, we got to get him out. So, I mean, Scott's making it out, $15 million buyout. 2 weeks before it dropped to 7. So they're trying to salvage recruiting. They must see something where they want to stabilize something. I don't know.
He's down bad, Eddie. I mean, he's down bad. I mean, how can you not be?
Would you advise Dave to lay $150,000 on Nebraska with the points this week? Then,
do we know what the points are? But yes, the short answer is yes. I would like to know what the spread is.
I talked myself out of betting against Nebraska. The clip on the pick'em, when I saw that spread, I said, Nebraska is so awful. They shouldn't be favored by more than 3 points versus anybody in college football. But it was such an outrageous line. I got nervous. I'm like, they must know this. They must know something I don't. I mean, who can make Nebraska a 20-point favorite versus a high school team? Never mind. You know, it just made no sense to me, and I got nervous because of it. And by the way, I want to go to Nebraska. I'm not a Nebraska hater. Like, they're in the Big Ten, but there's no historical rivalry or anything like that with Michigan because obviously they came from the Big 12. I think it's very good for the Big Ten when Nebraska is good, which they haven't been since they entered the Big Ten. I've always said I imagine Lincoln's a great place to watch a game. I'm not going to lower myself to go there until they can, put their uniforms on without needing help from like people. But the second that they are 500-esque team, I'd love to go there. So I like Nebraska. I feel bad. I don't like when I see my guys down bad like this. Like, me and Will have this text thing. We go, you shouldn't close the books on a season like second weekend in September. Well, this guy Will, he lives, breathes, eats football. It's done. He's over.
No, brother. No, you couldn't be farther from being fucking wrong. Dude. It's not over. We made the hardest decision of the season.
You made the easiest decision. That was not a hard decision.
Well, you still got to bring the guy in. Like, you still got to make that. You still got to sever that.
So the new guy is interim?
Yeah, interim head coach. Yeah, First black head coach in Nebraska history. Came from LSU. He's got a natty. He's got a ring from the 19th season. And he comes from the gutter, bro. He's been in every small level school. He's grinded his dick off for like 20 years to get to LSU in places like Nebraska. And it seems like the boys back him.
Yeah. Before we're going to compare LSU and Nebraska at this point, I don't know that we can do that.
Plus 11 for the record.
That's crazy low. That almost makes me
very low.
That makes me think like people are tricking us again. They're 11.
Yeah.
They're only 11-point underdogs against Oklahoma. This team can't tie their shoelaces.
Dave, we've scored like at least 30-something points every game.
Northwestern, North Dakota, Georgia State.
30-something. I'm up 30-something on all these teams. And everybody talks like Georgia Southern can't be a good football team. Like they're still in a breeding ground of high school recruiting. Georgia. So anybody that Georgia doesn't get, Georgia Southern gets.
I don't think that's how it works.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it works.
I don't think that's how that works at all. Listen, I'm rooting for him. I don't know what to say. It takes the fun out of busting balls and rivalry when one team, is just laying on the ground dead. It's like,
we're not laying on the ground dead.
You are. It's like
we're just 1-2. And again, we're more 1-1 because week 0 that doesn't really count. It's like the Chicago 49er game. Like the Chicago Bears won at water polo. It doesn't it's a wash. You don't know who's good.
Yeah, NFL's a little different than college, but it's like, Eddie, I like Nebraska so much. This dead body that's on the ground, I'm not even going to step over it because it's just, I won't Tyrone Lue Iverson it. Out of respect, I'll walk around it. Like, I have no interest in rubbing it in, but it's tough to look at. It's like a car crash that you don't even want to look. It's like, oh, Nebraska, this is terrible. That's how I feel about Will. When I look at him right now, I don't want to. Oh no.
Well, I heard he's got good ideas for who should be the next head coach.
Well,
I put out a list.
Well, do you want this interim coach that you just ranted and raved about to get the job?
He's on the list. He's got a lot of good credibility behind him. I've heard a lot of good stuff about him, and he's on the list. I think he's got a shot. Like, he's in a good position. I don't think you get rid of Frost this quick before, especially with the buyout coming up in 2 weeks, not to try and stabilize something so he can salvage some recruiting going on.
What's the list?
I mean, it's kind of lengthy.
I saw it. There's a bunch of he's on it.
I think I'm a viable option, honestly, but I do think I'm better utilized like elsewhere. You know what I mean?
No. Doing the trumpet?
Yeah, one. That's one. That's one thing. But coming to town,
wait. Do you mean he? I thought you meant for Nebraska.
I think I should be on the head coaching
list.
But
you just said you're
Nebraska.
better utilized elsewhere. I don't know if you meant like here or you meant for Nebraska. I didn't mean it as an insult, like the way you laughed.
Yeah, no, I'm meaning it as like, a content guy.
Oh, I thought you meant Nebraska as other, like they want you to recruit in things like that.
No, I mean, I'll recruit too. I'll recruit like with this job that I got right now.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I get it.
But I think I'm better utilized as this. There's I think you need to go after, if you don't, depending on what happens with Coach Joseph this year, because it is not out of question that we can still make a bowl game. It is not out of question. I think the schedule's favorable. Let's count Oklahoma as a loss. You rattle off kind of the bottom tier Big Ten teams. I think we get those guys. I know you're sleeping on us. You don't want to walk over my dead body, but we score points. And all I think, as long as we figure it out defensively, which I think we can do because we proved it last year. I think we can easily make a bowl game this year.
Before, as much as I'm sure people love Nebraska talk, this is probably limited. What record would you be happy with now?
Bowl game.
So to get bowl eligible, 6 wins,
7 wins?
Yeah. No.
So let's say 7 wins. I think we're going to get 6. I think we're going to rattle off 6 more wins.
I like to live. See, it's nice to be a positive guy. I'm not like generally one of those guys. It's nice to live in fantasy land, but
Dave, if this is happening to your Michigan Wolverines, are you quitting on Michigan? Like, are you being like, I'm not rocking blue anymore this year?
Yeah, I actually, at one point, after I believe they lost to Ohio State by 60 one of those years, I said I could not, and I didn't like the attitude. I didn't like anything. I said I cannot wear Michigan football until they beat Ohio State. We have to set it, and I don't want to hear we played them tough or 9 wins. No, that's not Michigan. That's like, I think I heard the Texas coach there, what's his face, Sarkisian, say we won. No, you didn't. You lost. In your University of Texas, and there's no moral victories when you play at University of Texas. I kind of feel the same way about Michigan. I don't. If we play Ohio State tough, no. Michigan plays to win the Big Ten and national championships, and any season that doesn't end that way, to me, is a disappointment.
So you didn't support Michigan until they beat Ohio State last year?
I would correct. I didn't believe in them. I watched the games and root for them, but I wouldn't be like, we're back or this or that. Nothing mattered.
I would love to fact check your timeline last year, like as Michigan was like a top 10 team going and playing Ohio State.
No, I didn't think we had a chance. I mean, I'll talk it up. I honestly didn't. I was stunned by that result.
Yeah, but to
I
me,
wanted
like that's a
Harbaugh
fraud.
gone. I wanted Harbaugh gone. I was.
You still want him gone?
No, not well. I don't like what he did in the offseason, but I keep him.
Do you still want him gone?
No. The answer is no.
See, that's what I'm saying. You're a fair weather fan. Like, to me, that's fraudulent. Like,
how is that fair weather?
Because you're on and off your team, you're like, okay, they suck. I'm not going to root for them.
If you don't think the coach is the right guy, which I didn't, you have to still say he's the right guy?
Well, yeah, but if you're going to jump back on the bandwagon.
Well, he changed my opinion. Like you're saying a Nebraska fan who wanted Frost gone, and then he wasn't fired, and suddenly he turns it around. Those people cannot then turn around and root for Scott Frost?
I think they're on my hit list.
Oh.
Like, well, to me, I think we can all agree. I think we can all agree now that we regret firing Bo Pelini.
I'm a Bo Pelini guy.
That's what I'm saying. And I think, like, people who are after Bo to get out, like, and people who are admitting that wrong, it's like, okay, well, nobody wants to hear that now. Where is your fucking faith back when we had him here?
What's up with year 10? You getting any nibbles?
There's always nibbles, Eddie. There's always nibbles. Year 10's alive and well.
Titans are off to a hot start.
You know, again, listen, we could talk Titans too. They put.
I don't think in NFL. Listen, week 1 doesn't matter in NFL. So I was just busting balls. You're down in Nebraska.
Okay.
Nebraska's dead. That sucks.
I was about to start firing off.
No.
We talk about Raiders. Raiders lost by 5 points and they had 5 turnovers. Titans are up 13-0. They don't get points going in the half. You don't get points coming out of half. Saquon Barkley breaks a big run. Loser hangs around you long enough, they start rubbing off on you. That's all that happened. We just got to tighten up.
Week 1 don't matter. All right, well, I hope. I don't know what I hope for. I just want you to be able to enjoy college football again. Really, I do.
I think every week's a new week. I was down bad this week. Some people, arguably the worst weekend of my life, especially with gambling getting introduced into my life, because there was a lot of I tell you what, that app, man, you just get going on that thing and you realize, oh shit, I can do this, and then you're fucking parlaying, and it was a bad weekend.
Oh yeah, I landed. I also did not have a good. Nobody did around here. Good thing is there's another weekend coming. So, all right, thanks, Will.
Wait, I got one more question.
Eddie wants to run the show here. Go, Eddie.
Yeah, what's the what the fuck does that mean?
What does what mean?
That I want to run the show. No, I was talking to Dave. What do you think about what's going on with the contract? How we doing? How we looking?
The football contract?
No, with the Barstool deal.
Oh, Bus and Barstool.
Yeah.
I think we're on the goal line, man.
All right.
I think
we're on the goal line.
Aren't we done?
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be some fucking. There's still like weeds to go through, right?
I didn't know that. I thought we were done.
I mean, hell, I would think if we're done, then we would roll it out a lot better than this.
No, I didn't have to roll out. As far as I know, Eddie, there's no major sticking points. The deal points have been agreed upon. Will and I did have a 45-minute conversation raising the voices slightly about a hypothetical that had nothing to do with the contract.
Can we talk about that?
We'll wait until it's officially done, but I'm happy to talk about the hypothetical once it's done. But we did not see eye to eye on it.
Yeah.
But it had nothing to do with the contract.
Wow. Will's a hard guy to argue with.
It wasn't like, Eddie, I know what you mean, but there was.
Yeah, it was fair.
You're not trying to do that type of argument. You're not trying to do that type of argument when you're actually trying to figure something out.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was. That particular one, which actually had nothing to do with what we were doing, was by far the most contentious of any of our conversations. And again, it did. We both knew it. It had nothing to do with what we were discussing, but for some reason we couldn't drop it.
Wow,
we would literally say, hey, this is a hypothetical. We know it's not going to happen. We'd laugh, and then each of us would continue to prove whatever we were trying to prove, and then the other one would say, see, I disagree. Like, I know we're not going to figure this out. It doesn't matter. But also, and then we fucking rattle it back and forth.
Yeah, but I think it's looking good. I think it's looking good. I would be at the stunned stage if it's not completed.
Where are you guys at with $1 million?
I'm happy with where we're at with them.
Interesting.
So is that also?
You guys are this. They're like this.
All right. Trending up, though.
Yeah. I think. Yes, I'm happy. They're making progress. I'm going to bat. I'm going to bat for the boys. I'm going in. I'm going to the trenches, throwing on, getting pens, shooting grenades at me. I'm knocking them off, saying, "Give me that. Give me that." I'm out here fighting.
Will, is there like any like huge benefit that you get for 10 years? Is 10 years like a huge benchmark for?
Isn't it 5?
It's basically 4. It's 4 credited seasons.
Then
so
you get
3
the
years
pension,
and 3
right?
games. Yeah, 3 years, 3 games, you get the pension. Then every year after that, it's just like a bonus every year. The 10-year thing is just like being able to say you played a decade.
Cool.
That's cool. I get it.
Yeah. So,
all right,
we'll
we
see
had
how
to get
that
the
works,
contract
maybe.
talk.
Yeah, no. I thought ink was dry. Apparently, it's not. But I think we're in a pretty good spot.
And then Bet the Bus. Go check out Bet the Bus. That's a new show.
Yeah, it's a new show. Bet the Bus is 20 minutes, easily digestible. I'm fucking rattling off picks for college. A couple in college went 1-1. NFL, I think I personally went 1-2. My guy, he went 2-2. Only because of the backdoor comeback by the Lions.
Welcome.
And then also
that's our business. That's the witcher. Yeah. That's our business. You think playing football's hard? You ain't seen nothing yet, brother. Welcome to this league. This league will kill you. This league will fucking kill you.
No, but I'm excited. It's a fun little show, and I'm fucking excited to be in this league. I think. Yeah, I got a learning curve to figure out.
There is, and that's the problem.
I'm very, very raw. I'm very raw. I think I have the intangible things you need in this game to survive and be good. But again, there's a lot of fucking. I got to dive into the X's and O's a little bit more.
It's a tough sport. All right,
that's like the Tony Scheffler video.
Yeah,
think the blogging life's a piece of cake. It ain't, bro.
People, I mean, this gambling league, this'll humble you real fast.
All right.
Amen. Appreciate you guys for having me on.
See ya.
Thanks, Will. Before we move on with the show, Dave, I want to get to Sirius XM. You're going tonight. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Silvana and Nate Dogg.
No, Silvana's out.
She's out. It's you and Nate Dogg.
Yeah, but we got one extra ticket, so maybe someone else will come if they want to. The fine folks.
What song are you most excited for? Can we talk about Red Hot Chili Peppers for a second?
Yeah, I'm not as big. Like, I'm a bigger Pearl Jam, and I didn't make it this weekend. I like what's the song? City of Angels. That one.
Californication?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Tell Me Baby is great.
Yeah.
Can't Stop. Under the Bridge.
Wait, is Under the Bridge the one I'm thinking of? No, Under the Bridge is the one. The city she loves me, the city of angels. That's Under the Bridge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. You're right.
Yes.
You're right.
So I think there's going to be like 5 or 6 songs I know and really like. It's almost like Pearl Jam, who I love Pearl Jam. And I like when I say I love like 8 of their songs, I love. But then the rest I don't like. Like I don't like some of their songs I really don't care for. I think Red Hot Chili Peppers will be the same for me.
No, but I also think they're a band that like they know more that you know more than you realize.
We'll find out.
Like you'll get there and you'll be like, oh yeah, I know this one too. No, that's going to be a great concert. You love these Sirius XM concerts.
They're the best. They literally are the best. You get to see these world-class bands at the Apollo in a theater you never. I saw Chesney in Key West. Unbelievable. So yeah,
Matthews? Was that where Dave
I
Matthews?
saw Dave Matthews at Talk House in Amagansett. I saw Coldplay at the Apollo. I say Lady Gaga, arguably the best concert I've ever been to at the Apollo. So yeah, they're unbelievable. If you like good music, you can't miss these shows. I have them all day in the background, including the replay, the Pearl Jam concert in their app on demand. So even if you can't go, you can listen to it with SiriusXM. I promise you'll not be disappointed. So make sure to download the app, subscribe at SiriusXM.com/Dave Portnoy offer to get your first 3 months for free. Offer details apply. Again, SiriusXM.com/Dave Portnoy offer to get your first 3 months for free.
Yeah, and that Chili Pepper show will be on the app too, so you'll be able to listen live, like you said.
I have, when I go to them, they're so good. The concert replay is so good. Like I listen to the Gaga one all the time.
Yeah, so go check that out, SiriusXM. All right, Inside Barstool, before we wrap up here, the Upfronts are tomorrow.
Yep.
Excited? How do we feel about those?
I don't get excited for Upfronts, but we sell ads, and we try to move a lot of ads. So I'm neutral. I think we are a great place to advertise. It's important for us, the Upfronts. For people who don't know what that is, it's something traditional in the media business where you invite all these advertisers and you pitch them on what you have coming up for the next year, and hopefully you can sell a lot of your budget for the year, because that's companies decide what they're spending, not piecemeal. It's not like, oh, we decide to spend today. A lot of times they have their budgets and decide them, in a relatively short span of time. So it's very important for us.
So it's neutral though. You don't dread going to these. Is that something you're like,
not at all.
But you don't really. You're not a big rub elbows kind of guy.
I get business. Like, I mean, I was a sales guy. I understood what has to be done. So I do not dread that. I think most of our salespeople will tell you I'm very amenable to sitting down with advertisers, meeting with advertisers, coming up with ideas. I won't do things that I don't agree with or I don't think are like, but if I think we can bring value, I'm happy to, if I can add value to the sale, help a sale, get it to the finish line, do anything, I'm more than happy to be part of that process. So no, this is something we have to do. I remember early Barstool, like Dunkin' Donuts, when we were sitting in Milton, I'm like, Dunkin' Donuts should be advertising with Barstool. Like, how could they not? We're in Massachusetts. It's a Massachusetts brand. We have their target demo. And they had an ad agency who handled them. I forget which one. And we finally got through to the ad agency after I've been calling forever. And they're like, well, yeah, you can pitch us, but you have to buy us lunch. Like, all come to a, what?
I remember who that was.
Was it Arnold?
Hill Holiday.
They're like, yes, you can pitch, but you have to buy like 10 people lunch. It was like, I had to buy 10 people lunch for them to do their job. They didn't.
And it wasn't just like, it was like Ruth Chris or something.
Yeah,
it was like Captain Grill too. They had like a rider to go hang out with them.
And it was like, you should know who we are. Like, we're the biggest thing right now in Boston. Dunkin' Donuts can't be more up our alley. And you want us to pay for a lunch so you can do your job? I blogged it naturally. And I was like, fuck these people. We're not going to do that. But it's a long way from there. Like, this is a very good event that we do, but you have to do stuff like this. So no, I don't dread it, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, as you said, it's like 350 people.
The whole theater in New York City. Yeah, it could be. I mean, we've done shows at this thing before, so yeah. I mean, I know how big it is, so it's going to be a lot of clients. Dave, you spoke at the last one. I forget, what did you say?
I came out. Yeah. I didn't. Did you say something? Yeah. So I didn't see the video that was going to be played before I came out to launch the whole event. And the event, the video was very, very complimentary to me, more so than I'm comfortable with. So when I walked out, I'm like, man, I didn't know there was going to be a video of me sucking my dick right before I came on. I'm like, oh, I'm on an ad thing. Like, shouldn't have said that. Yeah, that's what I said. But listen, to be honest, I think the Upfronts, we are impressive at the Upfronts. Like, when all of our talent is together, it's like, geez, these fucking guys have a lot of talent and a lot of influence, and we really do. So it's an effective event.
Yeah. And have you done one every year since you moved to New York?
No. I don't think so.
No, early. Remember we did one on the second floor of the first office? Like Deirdre led it, and it was like in our old office.
A lot of times, I don't know how it was early, you get invited to the upfronts. Like there's upfronts that are, I don't know who runs them, but multiple companies are there, and we never got invited. So we're like, fuck it, we'll just do our own.
Damn. Well, all right. Good luck, Dave. Other Inside Barstool stuff, the Rogers Sunday convo.
Yeah, that was great. Caleb's great. Always very funny.
Yeah, it was as much as it pains me, it was good. He was good. Any comment? I have to ask. I probably know where you're going to go, but McAfee's on College GameDay.
No, I don't. I wouldn't say I was like happy for him, but it's very. I wasn't not happy for him. I texted him, I'm like, congrats. I'm sure the sound won't go out on you. Very smart move by ESPN. He's better than anybody they got there. He can identify with college students way better than anybody else they got on set. And again, Dave, you're such a fucking egomaniac and this and that. This will be what they say. It just shows our impact on just media in general. Like, McAfee is college football. Biz is like hockey. Cooper, like $1 million worth a game. Like we just are so entrenched in media. It really is. Our footprints, our tentacles, they're everywhere. Our roots. Smart though, super smart by ESPN. And honestly, McAfee's like one of the most talented guys we've ever had. So his success is certainly not surprising.
I mean, College GameDay, that's a benchmark, man. That's like any kids. Like that's probably a top 3 show you would want to be on, right? As a kid or even in general.
Yeah, honestly, I think he has to revamp it. Like I feel like College GameDay has been going down. And that's why they need somebody like him. Like I didn't watch College GameDay anymore. But he's perfect and great for it. Yes, certainly growing up 100%. Mm-hmm. But it's not that surprising. Like you could have told me he got a Monday Night Football gig and I wouldn't have been surprised. There's nothing he can get or do because he has the perfect kind of mix, right? It's like he has us, but none of the stain of us.
Yeah, and that's why I said, like, I got bringing it up. I think I know what your take is going to be, but you're happy for him. It is what it is, right? You actually didn't say you were happy at the beginning.
Yeah, that would be a lie. That would be people always lie. If I'd be lying if I said I saw that headline and I was happy, but I wasn't mad. I just read it. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Good for him.
And why is that? Because he's not here, or because he's with a competitive company, or what exactly is like the root of the unhappiness?
Well, you just put words in my mouth, Eddie. Nice try.
I'm asking if there was anything.
I never said I was unhappy. I was neutral. I was more like, that's smart by ESPN. Happy implies like joy came over me.
Yeah. Okay.
How often does that happen?
Oh, not often.
That's a fact.
As soon as I walked in the room, right?
Yeah, when I saw that, I was. Once he told me his whole story, it's like, oh, that's blackjack wasn't that bad. No, I mean, I don't. I think a lot of people, you have to be friends with Pat. I'm friendly with him.
So you scrolled and you're like, oh, okay.
I was like, shit, that makes sense. Good move for Pat and ESPN.
Okay. Yeah, and that's where it's like, oh, he keeps coming up, but it's always topical. He's always in the news.
Coming up? He's brilliantly talented.
No, I'm saying like he keeps coming up in the show, like he's a topic.
Oh, well, that was huge news.
Yes, exactly. So it's got to see if there's any type of comment. So there you go. You see this guy Chamath, his podcast, the All In podcast. They spoke about Barstool a little bit.
No,
you're familiar with him. He's a minority owner of the Warriors. He donated to the Barstool Fund.
He's the GME guy, the Sri Lankan who's like venture capitalist. He took his GameStop shares and like put it in the fund.
All right, yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, I got the clip. Hold on.
I didn't know he talked about us.
Yeah, interesting conversation. I want your thoughts on.
Okay.
I think the most important M&A deal of 2022 was when Penn Gaming bought Barstool Sports, because it shows that every consumer packaged good or every consumer services business ultimately needs to be a content business. And if you don't naturally have content creation in your blood, you have to go and buy a content business or you are going to die. And that's why I think all traditional brands that aren't oriented and built around content creation as their primary differentiating foundation will not survive and will not be able to compete effectively. And instead, what we're going to see is influencers and individuals that create content, build and distribute consumer goods and consumer services in a more efficient way, because guess what? They've got distribution built in. And distribution is the number one problem with all consumer services and all consumer goods. So I think in the future, all advertising and marketing gets replaced by content creation. And content creation direct to consumers through the social media platforms becomes the mechanism by which people are aware of and buy goods and services.
Chamath,
so that's why I think this deal is so important. And I think it's another one of what we're seeing in 2022, which is the stacking away towards the end of nameless, faceless brands and the evolution of the influencer.
Yeah, brilliant. That guy's the smartest guy I've ever heard.
To provide more context there, they were talking about Kim Kardashian. They were talking about Mr. Beast and Mr. Beast Burger.
Yeah, I mean,
you see that picture of them all?
Yeah. Mr. Beast is number one.
There's a juggernaut.
Yep.
They predict like brands like Coca-Cola they use specifically in 30 years will be dead because it's easier for a company that has fans to make like a decent cola than it would be for them to like create marketing around it.
Logan Paul and KSI with Prime.
Yeah. Which is super interesting.
Pink Whitney. Boop. Boop. Boop.
I knew.
Boop. Number one hard seltzer on the market. Boop. Boop. Nobody knew what it was till I drank it. Boop. Boop.
Pardon my cheesesteaks.
Pardon my cheesesteaks. On and on it goes.
Yeah. It was interesting though. Mr. Beast, that guy's a fucking...
Guy's a weapon.
A weapon. Have you ever had any interaction with him?
Yeah, he was on, I know, he has, I talked to him on the phone. And it was a while, I think I told you, he like, his next business idea, that's when I knew I was dealing with a different cat. He was selling, what was it? He was going to put like...
something in space?
Yeah, he had like a hard drive that he was selling people access that he was going to put on the moon. Made no sense.
The Barstool Fund.
He donated to the Barstool Fund, like 100, 150 grand. I hung up knowing that guy was way ahead of me.
Dude, I listen to him on Rogan. He's fascinating.
He maxed out YouTube.
Yeah.
Like he gets the most videos. He gets like everyone it's like everyone on YouTube watches his video. He's got nowhere to grow. It's crazy.
He said something like any single person on YouTube, doesn't matter what the content is, if he took over and he just ran the channel, he'd have you a couple 100,000 subscribers like that.
Yeah, I know. He will. He figured out like the algorithm early and he still is ahead and he probably writes the algorithm for himself. He's a monster.
Yeah, he's genius. He was very fascinating on that episode. Did you see Large's Nobody Wants to Work Anymore blog?
I saw Nate's reaction to it.
It caught some reaction on Twitter, so I was wondering if you did. It was a good blog.
Yeah, I saw the gist of it.
So shout out to Lars. We talked about Jerry earlier. The equipment thing with Blattman, you overruled the equipment throw. I
like passion. As long as you're not like, you can't be Rico and use this microphone stand as a sword or a weapon to threaten Big T. I don't encourage people going after the equipment or doing it, but that is what we hire people for. True, genuine reactions to their teams. So I did overrule Blattman.
Mm-hmm. And then last thing here, Tommy and Tico.
I haven't watched their makeout on OnlyFans. I have no plans on doing so.
Why not?
Just not my cup of tea.
You also refused to make out with Tommy.
Correct. Also not my cup of tea.
Would you ever reconsider?
No.
No.
Okay. I asked him earlier about it.
About Tommy.
I think he should reconsider.
Yeah. No. I will not be reconsidering.
I mean, it is my make.
You should.
It is your make a wish. It is your make a wish. That doesn't change a thing. You already got the heart.
It's a good.
All right.
Good point. Good point.
I think mini golf, like you said, airs at 7 o'clock.
I thought Whitney
tonight.
was coming on the show.
No, he's not.
Why did Whitney tell me he was?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, yesterday he did.
Oh, He went on Minihane, but I don't know. He'll be on here soon.
All right. This is weird.
All right then, everybody. Hopefully, I don't know if we do talk to Will later in the day, we'll add it towards the end.
Okay.
But that's it. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next time.
Remember, organ
Thank
donor.
you to Alex.
Yeah.
It was an honor being with you guys for my
Thank
first
you.
podcast. Thank you guys. Thank
Yeah,
you, Dave.
he's going to do a little bit of the yak later too, I think.
Awesome, dude.
All right.
Thanks, Alex.
Cool.
Appreciate you guys.